welcome to another episode of Lawn Care Skull Sessions. This is episode 74.
74.
I'm Ben from Cash Pro Australia. Joining me is the bearded lawnsman, TBL Property Maintenance.
Buska, what up, my bro?
Just about everything, pal. It's all happening. It's that time of year.
It's fucking hot.
It's gotten hot. All of a sudden. And it's actually surprisingly kind of dry-ish up here.
It's dry as fuck at my villages.
I did want to say, I haven't been up too much on news and current affairs, but just shout out to anyone like way further down south that's, having any sort of flooding issues.
It's so sad. Like that thing that you posted the other day, it was incredible. You tagged me in something, didn't you?
No, I think Mick Carroll posted the dam.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a G-up. Like I showed Vicky and I was like, is this for fucking real?
It looked like something out of like that movie fucking 2012.
Yeah, so thoughts go out to anyone in flood areas. Like we know exactly what that's like because we were in the hell bloody, not even 12 months ago. So it's amazing how it can just be so beautiful somewhere and just,
Yeah, it's only a couple of hours down the road, really. But, it's really sad. So, thoughts go out to all the people down that way.
Yeah, for sure. Now, let's get right into Bizzo.
Yeah.
We're going to draw the winners of the PS4 Lawn Simulator games.
Oh, here, I can see it.
If I had a PS4, I would have cracked one of these up.
Mate, it was very hard not to tax one of these. I got a PS4.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One of them.
I don't have one. Anyway, without further ado, did you want to read those out, my brother?
All right, so the winners for the games, the 5 games. So listen carefully because you'll have to reach out to us because we got no way of getting back to you. So TCM Property Maintenance, congratulations. Huddos, I know that he also runs a property maintenance business. Fernscapes, that's our brother Turtle.
I got Turtle's details.
Yes,
well done.
G'day Cobber and Mick K. So congratulations, guys. I'll leave everything down in the show notes so you'll be able to go and double check if you actually heard your name, or you could replay this a million times and get us heaps of listens on Apple.
And just contact us, either of us personally, or if you've got Cash Pro details, you can email in, just so that we can get those prizes out.
Yeah, I'll chuck it on Skag Down Under so those guys know that it's been drawn, and congratulations. Now there's another one. The bad workwear.
I forgot about this, man. Until you
I was waiting for
seen BJ taking notes, and I'm like, oh yeah, what's that one?
Yeah.
And
so guess who it is?
Who?
Scotty Mo 7.
Scotty doesn't mow.
Scotty doesn't mow. So Scotty Mo 7, congratulations. You are now the proud owner of some bad workwear.
Now reach out to me because we'll have to get some sizing and stuff going because we don't really want to send you the wrong shit.
I'll send you a pair of my undies.
The undies will be included.
Oh shit!
I reckon we go top, either pants or shorts, socks, undies, a hat, and some boots.
Damn girl.
And if it's cold and you want a jumper, we'll fucking go on the website and order it.
Yeah, well, fucking I doubt that's going to be the case because it's hot as fuck.
So congratulations to all our winners, and thanks for being patient with us. We know we sort of cooked the competition by not drawing it like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, sorry about that. Fucking US trip got in the way. As I hate.
I mean, hey, not only have we been dealing with work, but we've also just been getting blown to pieces by certain community groups.
Well, I'm banned. I got pinged today. I must have had one of my comments reported. Now I tried to stay out of this. You said, stay out of it, man. Don't worry about it. And things happen. You left.
No, I got booted.
Oh, you got booted?
Yeah, well, I'm not there anymore.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, anyway, fucking...
So, just wait. First up, Greg goes publicly, he goes, mate, I'm not going to boot you because you're just going to go on LMCA and tell everyone how I booted you. And I was just sitting there. I didn't even bother commenting. I was thinking man, it doesn't matter what you do, you're getting torn to shreds anytime I get a chance. So
I was still in the group, and I got no issues with a bunch of the dudes in there. I think everyone's pretty cool, except for a few core members that really are quite hardcore. And
can I just say straight off the bat that probably is something that you and I want everyone to know first and foremost. Like, I don't know about you, but I got accused of not supporting the group. And I want everyone to know first and foremost, like, we've tried to get Greg on the show. I've got an Aussie 10 code for my website to try and support the group, which is now going to be eliminated.
Yeah.
But I do want everyone to sort of understand that I don't have an issue with the group or the group members. My issue is straight up with Greg Anderson being dishonest.
Yeah.
And I saw his 3 Dicks Deep video. Someone sent me the link. Actually, 3 people sent me the link. And, I mean, a lot of the content, it was 9 minutes. It was difficult to get through. But, I agree with some of the stuff that he said. He is correct. He has no obligation to push any product that he doesn't want to. What my issue is that he had never communicated that to me. So, when he bought stuff from my website and I gave him stuff at dealer pricing, like that's me extending that olive branch.
Yeah. And
I think it also should be well known that people like Greg Anderson, some other key ambassadors, admins of other pages, I think it's excellent for them, and I think they should have the opportunity to get a little bit of flow here and there.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I'm not talking about a paycheck. I'm just talking about bits and pieces equipment that's advertised on their pages and the communities that they've built. I think it's great for people like me, Catch Pro, and brands that, are out there to help give back. And so all this bullshit about, me being pissed because he may have a deal with ASP, man, I've got nothing but love for something like that.
Yeah.
This just doesn't have a thing to do with ASP. This doesn't have a thing to really do with anybody else on the contractors page. This is Greg Anderson and me. And then also, he made a comment like, oh, we fucking had 6 beers and I was typing a bunch of shit. And look, I've kept all of that private. But if I'm going to keep being nudged...
Yeah.
I will just leak all that stuff.
That's what I said. So you got booted. I was still on the page, and I'd already commented just a reasonable comment. I wasn't trying to make anyone flip. I was just saying, this. I was there. I've been there for the whole thing. I've seen the messages. Fucking chill out, everyone. And I got a notification, and another message had come through again, and I was like, fuck, all right. So I looked at it, and this dude, Scott, he was onto you, and I just couldn't hold my tongue, and I basically just said, mate, take Greg's dick out of your mouth, you're embarrassing yourself, and then fucking just gave him a bit of stick. And the message that he wrote back to me, I just can't even fucking write back to it. It's not even, I just looked at it, and it had Greg's name in it probably about 15 or 16 times, and I was just like, dude, you're in the cult. Like, you may as well just drink the Kool-Aid, man. You're done for. So
I still want to maintain that, like, I actually don't hate Greg Anderson as a person. I think some people sort of love to hate him, hate to love him, type of thing. This is
oopsie daisies.
Oopsies, edit, nah. This is much more of an issue that I just thought he was being like he was acting to me like he was being genuine, and just there was just complete nonsense going on. But have a look at this. I get sent this from Cutting Edge Garden Service. Have a listen to Mr. Catch Pro. He says whatever they like about other brands, people's views, etc. Got so much skag and self-interest in their throats. No wonder he talks about touching up and pashing blokes. He always talking about having a fag in his mouth.
What is it with skag? Why does everyone bring fucking skag into it? Well, you literally work with almost every brand except for fucking Cub Cadet.
Well, I think he's talking about you.
Oh, okay.
No. He's obviously you got roped into this.
I there was no way I wasn't going to get pulled in. Like, everyone thinks that, well, obviously someone fucking thinks that I'm your lapdog. But the backstory is we've known each other since we were 16. And without knowing...
Part of the family now.
I'm fucking part of the family. So
BJ married my cousin. And when we weren't even really hanging out.
No, that's it, anymore. Yeah. So the people calling me a fucking lapdog are the same people that are fucking playing fucking Tarzan off Greg's dick. And I'm like, well... And isn't that like the pot calling the kettle black?
Yeah, I think the other thing that people need to realise too, like I'm not sitting here with this dude on a leash giving him commands.
Wish you were. That'd be so hot.
Quite often, you were there to tell me like, "Hey, dude, cool the jets. Think about it."
Well, you know, there's been times where we said dumb shit, and I'm like, probably fucking shouldn't put that on there. We go a bit too far in some of our little situations. We'll call them skituations. But, you know, fucking, it is what it is, man. I just don't understand how, like, skag got brought into it. That was just bizarre. You own one skag, so...
You're two, really. The 32, I was...
Yeah, well...
I mean, I guess you've inherited that now.
Yeah, so... I'm the skag hag, not you, so...
it's just I don't really have an issue with this comment. The part about saying whatever I like about other brands and people's views, etc. You know, I'm just very much that type of person that if I don't agree, I like to talk about it. Obviously, you know, the self-interest, I think there's a misperception there. For someone like Catch Pro, for a brand like Catch Pro, working with certain key brands is very, very, very important. And those brands, let's face it, they could look at someone like me and a brand like Catch Pro and be like, we don't want nothing to do with that. We are competitors. And those brands have been good enough to either mentor me or be like, hey, we can really help each other out. And in terms of if someone asks me, hey Ben, you know, which stand-on should I get? And I've got 2 or 3 options, and I say, well, I think you should take a look at a V-Ride. You might want to take a look at this one or this one. It's because I've had extensive, like maybe hundreds of hours of cutting time on those machines.
Yeah.
It's, you know, if someone said like, should I get a grandstand, that pretty much the first thing I would say is jump on YouTube and have a look, maybe try and find someone who uses one regularly and try and get a little bit of, like, I don't know the fucking answers to those questions.
Yeah.
And so it's completely ignorant to think that I wouldn't support the people who have supported me. And not only are they supporting Catch Pro, man, these people, so like Bush Ranger, Ego, Cox, Skag, like the people that run these companies are in these community groups with their personal profiles.
Yeah.
Robert Shearer, Paul Sheehan, Aidan Andrews, like...
Well, these games came from Skag.
Yeah, like these people do not need to put themselves out there.
Yeah.
They are doing it to be a part of the community. We're all Aussies. We're all like, hell yeah, let's grow this thing together. The brands that choose to stay out of it and not be in the public eye, to me, it's their detriment.
Yeah, big time.
You know, so I think there's a little bit of a misperception about, hey, you know, how much self-interest do they have. It's much more about like, hey, this is what we know and this is what we know and trust.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So buy a fucking skag.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was
yeah, it's a little bit necessary. It's all started to calm down now. I can feel it. I can feel it in the airs, but I still think like.
Well, I don't see none of it. So the only thing that I see now is when people screenshot stuff to me, and I think something else important to note is that like Greg Anderson, you know, seems to think like he's got like a crew of dudes that, you know, are like this. And he's got key people in his life that have reached out to me personally. So, you know, once that starts happening, it's like, well, hey, who can you trust?
That's it.
So, you know, I think I'm ready to bury it now.
Yeah.
I've already moved on. Like, I feel good about everything now.
Yeah.
So
I'll get back to Facebook in a few days. It's all good.
For anyone looking for an awesome community, though, jump over to LMCA.
LMCA 10, is that the code?
Oh, thanks, mate. So it does. We do have that.
Yeah. For the Catch Bro.
For the cat, look, there's a couple of products. I'm actually not aware of which products it works on. Just try.
I'll beep it out anyway.
No, leave it there. It's there for them.
All right, fuck you.
Okay, so.
Well, that was going to be one of those edited moments.
So anyway, look, we were a little bit stooped with. I don't think that's a word.
Did you just fucking make up a word?
Yeah, we were stooped with like. We were just like, man, what are we going to talk about?
Wait, can anyone see my belly button through my shirt?
The glory hole.
Yeah, I fucking went up behind a bougainvillea and now I've got like a shirt pussy. It's fucked. It goes straight into my belly button. I was lucky though, I didn't get cut. Okay, so here's a little poo story for you.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I ate black buns. You know those black burger buns? So we had these spicy chicken burgers we made at home and we thought we'd get fancy and get these black buns. I forgot and I shit green today and I fucking swear to God, I was thinking like, I have to call an ambulance. Something's fucked. And then I realised. But yeah, that was my exciting story for today.
That used to happen when we used to drink. There were like these cans of...
fucking Red Bear?
Nah, it was some alcohol drink. Can't remember what it was, but yeah, you do like blue shits or something afterwards.
Fruity Lexia?
The grog bottles.
That's normally red shits.
Fruity Lexia just runs out anyway. Anyway, like I said, we didn't know what we wanted to talk about. There's just tons of stuff going on, and we've had some good topics lately, some good interaction. So we went straight to LMCA.
Yeah.
And you know, we just had so many suggestions, and silly me, like it was only fucking 24 hours before we're shooting.
Yeah.
So we thought that we would just scroll through the comments, maybe touch on some of those comments.
Witcher.
And the first comment is from James Santorino, and he says, hey, why don't you talk about blades? It's been a minute. So we know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
If anyone out there is looking for any mower blades, don't forget to jump onto catchpro.com.au.
Yeah. It's not the biggest part of your business, but it's going all right.
Scotty Osborne wants us to talk about him.
Yeah, Scotty Osborne is a fucking legend. Like, man.
Is he back from the US yet?
I haven't seen him post that he's back, but if he is back, he's just done a month over there, so I don't think he'll be posting, because that fucking 2 weeks over there pooped me. But they've been doing mountain climbing and all sorts of shit, him and his missus. But I'd love to get Scotty up here into the studio, but I doubt that'll happen because he's down in Ulladulla. But I want to have a proper good chat to him.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know if you want to hear from Scotty Osborne. He's a full-time dealer, store owner, but he's had a contractor background,
and he still has a contract.
That's it. And
He's
he
still has a
also,
contract, so.
he has also, he was at the forefront of stand-on mowing.
He was Mr. V-Ride. he brought in the V-Rides. So, yeah. Very interesting stories.
Yes, now, Cole O.D. That just sounds like a rapper's name,
It
mate.
does, hey.
He said he wants to hear about his small nipples.
Oh.
I don't ever recall talking about his nipples. I think we talked about
I talked about my big ones and your
side bangs.
Side bangs.
Yeah, got a singer one today.
That's
so
all right. Yeah, hide him.
Ribbed Condom does want to know about trailers and chippers. Now, I do want to say we've done an episode on trailer setups.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you be a real supporter and go back and listen?
Yeah. I think Jaden is actually one of our biggest supporters.
Oh, he knows I'm only listening. I called him a rim dummy.
Yeah, that's true. It's straight off the bat.
So look, but pal, hey, in terms of the chippers, I don't think BJ or I are qualified.
Nah, that's not us.
We would look. I'd love to get qualified.
I'd love one. If someone wants to send me one,
I'd love to get qualified, but look, I can't see that happening anytime soon. Look, Footscray wants to know about expenses, and look, that is a topic I think we can definitely dive a little bit more into. There's a few comments in this thread about, say accounts and, say either software or something like that.
Yeah.
I would probably urge...
That sounds like a good episode that we should do a whole episode on.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about the whole being qualified thing again.
Well, maybe we can get someone is qualified.
Absolutely. Look, I think in the meantime, tune into Aussie Lawn Stars. Gary's got really good content over there with accountants and bookkeepers. And I believe they also have great references.
Yeah.
To get you hooked up with someone.
Nice.
So look, in terms of expenses, Beach, can you spend a minute maybe describing how you sort of handle and control that?
Fuck.
Not really put you on the spot.
To be honest, so my expenses, well, my wife handles all of the money. I use a card, and when there's no money on that card, I'm like, hey, fucking, I'll check the account nowadays. I never used to, but it's, I don't know. I look at my expenses, and it goes wages, insurances, fuel, the rest.
Yeah,
they're my fucking whippersnippers and things like that.
Do you personally draw a wage?
No, okay. So we're not a company. We just so we basically everything goes into. Because now we actually can get some interest out of our money. So everything goes into our highest interest account, and we try and suck some value out of that. But yeah, we just draw when we need to into different accounts. So,
sure.
Home loans, shit like that. My wife she's fucking 10 out of 10 with all this sort of shit. I'm just like, I make the money. She organises it.
Yeah. Now, I mean, look, I don't think that I'm a very good person to sort of give advice really in this way, but look, I know that since I started drawing a wage, everything has run so much smoother, and I've been able to, there's a lot of talk about there, know your numbers and all of those things, and I think when you're not making a ton of money, it's a lot easier to just be like, man, I'm just going to put that off. We're just, we're living week to week, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
I think when you start seeing some real bank come in, it's a lot easier to delegate funds into certain places.
100%.
And look, I think the biggest thing that I can probably recommend is just being organised. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily okay, I'm going to put this money here, I'm going to put that money there, but I think being organised is just a great start.
Yeah.
And definitely don't, I'll tell everyone straight up, fucking, man, get as many deductions as you can get. Fuck the tax office, only give them what you have to.
Yeah.
But in saying that, don't don't rort the system and don't hide from the tax office, because it just only gets worse and worse and worse.
Don't do dodgy shit. I mean,
no, so I'm not saying to do dodgy stuff.
No, just do what you can to avoid. Get
everything that you are entitled to, and do your research about what you're entitled.
Yeah, and definitely
every morning, Catch Pro Australia buys my morning coffee.
Yeah,
and it's completely legal.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want the same deal.
Yeah, so
we're not a company yet, so
yeah, but it doesn't matter. You can still structure those things the same way. Look, we might get more. We might get more organised on the podcast, and maybe we'll look a little.
Yeah, well, I think look, we've had you've had the crate. Well, you're heading towards one of your biggest months. I'm dealing with some extracurricular activities right now that I won't go too much into. That'll be for a future episode, I'm pretty sure. But I think one of the best things that you can do in terms of it's more of a budgeting thing. So I've started buying bulk. And I'm actually really happy with the benefits, the savings. If you can afford to buy things in 20 litres instead of 1 litres, I remember back in the day when I didn't have a huge amount of money coming in, I would go and get 1 litre of glypho here just to get through, and then I'd go and get another one and another one. And then by the time I'd gotten 5 or 6, I may as well have just bought 20 litres and had an extra 10 litres in the bank or some shit like that. So
I think it's also the same about equipment and second-hand gear. I'm no stranger to buying second-hand gear. There's some mad deals out there. But I think if you just got one of those really temperamental machines that just fucking lets you down all the time, sometimes, I mean, look, you can't do it if you don't have it. But it's not a bad idea to just try and just get a $600 brand new machine. Yeah. And, if we're talking a Whippy or whatever. Because, some of these $300 that you get on Gumtree can be fantastic for, a couple months.
Yeah.
And then can just end up causing nightmares.
Yeah, you don't want to get something just to get you through a couple of months. You want something that's going to last you a couple of years.
And I will say that I have my own bookkeeper now. Fun fact, he's actually my cousin.
Everything's in the family.
Well,
that's Wynnum for you.
Yeah, it is. Fun fact though, he in the mid to late 90s, he actually played first grade football for the Newcastle Knights.
Shit.
And so he's obviously a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
But we used to have I remember when I was a kid, we used to have Friday night football parties where we'd watch it, because his brother played for St. George.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
we'd watch, the Friday night footy games of the two brothers going at it.
That's awesome.
So, but look, if anyone wants to jot this down, this is my bookkeeper. His email is jeff@absolutebbs.com. What always makes me laugh about this email is I always look at it and I always just think Jeff at absolutebullshit.com.
I was thinking BBC.
Oh, BBC, yeah.
Absolute BBC.
So, but it's absolutebbs.com. Definitely mention my name. He's a really good bookkeeper. He's not a super talkative dude. So when he says something, it usually has a fair bit of merit. But it's been so mad for Catch Pro. We are so much more organised now.
Yeah. And
some of it's a reach. Sometimes he's like, hey, you got to pay this bill. And I'm like, fuck off. But
oh, man.
But at the end of the day.
you got to do what you got to do.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I remember he was like, yeah, I'll do your payroll. I was just like, well, nah. I'll fucking sort that. I just told him, this is what I need you to do. And this is what I'm comfortable controlling. So... and all of that changes your monthly outlay to him.
Yeah, okay.
Fair
enough then. Yeah, I mean, my wife, she is our bookkeeper as well, but fucking trying to get the young fella into a kindy, and her mum and dad are going away on holidays for a bit, so it's been a bit of a...
Oh, who wants to hear a quick family sidebar?
Tell me.
Okay, so... some of you may know that we're just that type of family where if we sit at home, I'll fucking kill one of my kids.
Yeah.
We're just not good at it. So as much as it is a struggle, we just try and get out and just do as much as we can with the kids. And so anyway, we did have a pretty lazy day Saturday, did fuck all, right? And then Saturday night, I said to the missus, let's go out and get a steak. Went, had a mad feed, played some pokies.
Yeah, had a slap.
Had a beer, never do that.
Oh, Jesus.
Usually have a bourbon or something.
Oh my God.
And then...
Who are you?
And then in the morning, we got up early and went to Stratty.
Yeah.
Now, one of my girls has a broken arm.
Oh.
And that's why we've kind of been around a little bit lately. And I was like, nah, let's just slap a dummy on it. Like, not a real dummy, but these cast ones.
Yeah.
And we woke up at 6, went over to the island. We didn't think it was that hot, but holy moly, man. Like, we got, except for young Nelly, she doesn't burn.
Yeah.
We just got, like, cooked inside out. And we got back at 2 o'clock at the Arvo. And then the neighbours live on, like, a 30-acre paddock.
Yeah.
And they've got all these beautiful horses. And I've booked me kids into horse riding lessons, but they offered if we wanted to come over and learn about the horses and feed them and all sorts of shit, right? So I took all the girls over there and we were just thrashed. We were like thrashed. And the dude, man,
he's doing too much, mate.
He goes, first job is pick up all the horse shit. And like, before I could even say anything, Nelly was just picking up these mounds of shit with bare hands. And I was like, fuck. And then, so we're working away, we're feeding the horses, the girls are grabbing horses, doing fucking lunging, I don't know what the fuck it is. And,
oh, fuck.
They all put themselves to bed.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite to what you were saying about your kid.
Yeah.
They all woke up festy on Monday.
Oh,
and we're like, no, you got to go to school, rah, rah, rah. The school called us at 11 o'clock on Monday, and they're like, 2 of your kids are bawling their eyes out crying for no reason, and the other one looks like she's about to die. And we had to go and pick up all of our kids.
Oh my God.
Yesterday, I think the point of my story...
You're doing too much.
I think the point of my story is that family life, man, like with work and kids and everything like that, like there's just so many moving parts that everyone just like it's hard to get organised, man.
Now I don't know what it was about because it was Saturday, wasn't it? Or did you go Sunday?
We went Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So this was all yesterday, like Monday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the school rang us and they're like, man, you're going to have to come and pick up the children. Also, what happened was we went like surfing and Macy's arm got wet in the cast. No. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, nah, fucking, you'll be right. And she's like, Dad, it's wet. And I was just like, whatever. Hanging out the fucking door while we're driving. She goes to school and she's like, it feels like I'm wearing a wet sock.
Oh,
and then my wife was just like, oi, it fucking reeks.
I guess
she's like, and I was like, I'm not sniffing it. Anyway, we ended up taking it to hospital because we're like, nah, man, it reeks. Like, we need a new cast.
Yeah.
And they took it off early. Oh, really? And they're like, yeah, nah, so don't worry about it.
Be careful.
Well, apparently.
She's not going to be careful, is she? Well, fucking Saturday, like, I know what you mean. So I've been rubbing aloe vera on my wife since fucking Saturday night. We went out, so we had a birthday party in this same park as we had my daughter dances, and they had a fucking party for like the dance party. So we got rocked up at like 9 o'clock at this party, and it's at a little beach. And my wife didn't put any sunblock on. I fucking smashed myself because I know what it's fucking all about.
Oh, I can actually see a little bit of colour.
That's probably from today. I literally only got burnt like I had side tip burn. And that's all I got, but holy fuck, I've never seen my wife so burnt. And my daughter, Chloe, is fucking roasted. Me and Archie are just like, yeah, it's alright. He had a little bit of burn up the top of his legs where his fucking little Speedos were rubbing. But, I mean, they had a fantastic time, but fuck, the aftermath, it's like 3 days, and they're all like, oh, I'm sticking to the couch. I'm like, oh, yuck.
See, I handle burn real good. Like, I was legit cooked.
Yeah.
And the only thing, I mean, it looks a bit funny, but the more tan I get, like on my chest area, my white chest hair is just like, bruh, yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So wait, with your staff, did you used to tell them like you got a sunblock up, boy?
It was never an issue. Like Rusty's always really safe.
Yeah.
So's DJ.
I've always got it there. I always buy like mad sunblock, and I'm always like, fucking, here's your hat, here's your sunblock, here's your sunnies, fucking on you, because they're subcontractors. So I'm like, you fucking do you. I've provided everything you need. It's up to you to make sure that you're, not fucking around, because you don't want someone to come back at you in 20 years and be like, oh, I fucking worked without a fucking shirt and now I got fucking skin cancer on my back and it's your fault.
Yeah, I had a young fella who, I would always, in the summer months, I'd always go to work with a t-shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
And usually by about 8 o'clock I'd maybe put a singlet on, and always after lunch I'd go back to my t-shirt. But I had a young worker who would just rock up in a singlet.
Oh, okay.
And mate, it would just piss me off because I didn't think it looked any good, like first and foremost.
Yeah.
But it's too long in the Queensland sun.
It is really.
It's too long. It's not safe.
Nasty. I couldn't believe like the difference in the US, like the way the sun felt. Like we had beautiful days, and in LA, like it's like a fucking desert, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be so bad. It was sweet. I fucking got off the plane here. I was like, the humidity got my lungs. I was like, oh shit. I got fucking vape lung.
And when I say like we got cooked, like we were on the beach for like maybe 2 hours. All the kids, admittedly, I only had sun cream on my face.
Yeah.
All of our kids, we smash them, and we're very strict on that. And we've got a redhead as well, and you got to be careful because that it's not fair on them.
Yeah, well, look at me, man. I'm white as. I've been out in the sun for fucking 8 years and I still haven't cooked yet.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it just feels like once I get like a good base, then, it's not like you see many Africans with skin cancer, eh? Africans, Kiwis.
But you know what? Like my guy, Will, he's Fijian and fucking long pants, wide brim hat, long sleeves, so he knows what it's all about.
He's racist to himself. He is. He doesn't want to get any blacker, and I'm like...
That's what he said to us, I was just like, okay, that makes no sense to me.
So... whatever. Okay, so we have a comment here from Hudson saying that he's down in Tassie.
Wait, is that Hutto that's won a fucking game?
Oh, Hutto!
Could be.
It's gotta be.
Who knows?
So anyway, he's down in Tassie, and he wanted us to talk about different types of grass and different heights of mowing. Now, it's just too hard because...
Boy, I got the perfect guy. I'm the perfect guy to come in. I might have to give him a handy or something, but Wally Pearce from ICL, he's a fucking man. He's a man. He knows all of his shit.
Okay, well, I sort of looked at it and I just thought, like, man, there's just too many variables. Like, you can be here where we are in Brisbane and you could drive an hour and a half west to Toowoomba and they're just cutting completely different.
Yeah.
He's cutting at like crazy. He's cutting at like USA heights.
Oh.
Down in Tassie.
That's fucking crazy.
Steve Terrell, he wants to know about crazy clients.
Ooh. Maybe we could do a crazy client and crazy fucking person one. Remember the crackhead?
Oh yeah.
The crackhead.
Midnight Oil.
Yeah.
That's what
he's come out just.
He looked like. What's the Midnight Oil dude's name?
Oh fuck! Now you put me on the spot.
I
can do the dance.
Yeah. Is that just like the arm just goes out?
Peter, is it Peter Garrett?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Paul Peter.
Look, I think we could probably come up with some crazy client stories, but what I think would be better is if we did an interactive crazy client story.
Yeah.
Where we told people stories.
Oh. Yeah,
so,
that's good.
Look, Scott Dennis wants to know more about the US trip from you. Was there anything else that you can share?
I got a bunch of stuff from the actual Skag tours. Now, I have probably never been in a situation where I've met like CEOs and owners. Like there was one of the owners of Skag was there.
Did you just walk up and just be like, "What's up, cunt?"
Yeah. Fucking how do you like it over my passion?
Like in jail, just walk up to the big dog and just be like, "You want me to fucking..."
Dude, the owner was huge, fucking awesome. Like I've never met a more like welcoming bunch of people. It was so good. Like Dennis, he's like I forget what his title is. Anyway,
he's the national sales manager.
There you go. Yeah, national sales manager. But he took us on the tour of two of the facilities, and then we had like a mixed group of tour guides on the last one, and it was awesome.
Hot chicks?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was heaps of people working. There was lots of women because over there it's rural. I'll call it rural, but there's lots of women there because the guys are all out on the farms and they don't get healthcare benefits, so the women jump into the manufacturing side of things for Skag and they bring home all the health benefits, they bring home a wage, and it's like a 9 to 5. Now those plants are running fucking every day, like 24 hours a day. And
are they on septic?
I don't
They're
know.
not rural then.
I don't know. Nah, it was actually pretty cool. The last one we looked at was Beaver Dam, and like right outside across the road, you just walk out the front door, cross the road, and you're in one of the servos. And yeah, they wouldn't know what a fucking servo was, but
yeah,
service a gas thing. And dude, there were like cans of JD in there for like $2.50, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like I just can't fathom buying booze at the servo. Convenient, but weird.
We can't even buy fucking water for that price.
yeah, that's exactly right. No, that would actually be a pretty cool episode. I was just blown away at the actual processes that they have in place. They have like quotas of how many machines per shift they should do on a certain line. They have like just even the tools just to get the machines. So they have like impact drivers that are set to a certain. What would it be?
Yeah, they have everything. PSI. They have everything like jigged.
Yeah, and it's just like these people put the frame together. Then it just and it just was so cool. I got to see like spindles being made. There's some very unique things about Skag which I didn't know, which were highlighted, and yeah, it was just a really exciting time for me. And it sounds really lame, but I know you would get a kick out of it. Like,
oh fuck, man!
The production side things, like
even just watching the guy at Cox Mowers like package up blades, I was just like, dude, me and Rusty, we were just both sitting there. We're just watching this dude, on this machine, and then he's like it's like the heat film.
Yeah.
It just everything was real cool.
Yeah, actually, I've seen that. I saw that at PLP on the PLP.
Yeah. So,
but they were all so friendly, so nice. They hooked us up with really super cute accommodation. And yeah,
how about if anything comes up into memory while we're shooting now, just jump in and just be like, hey, this reminds me of in the US.
Yeah.
This
one time when I had cum on my
when I sucked my flute in my pussy.
When I had cum on my curtains. What about that? Okay, did I not tell that story when I got back? So we.
I think I heard about this.
We stayed in Las Vegas. Not Las Vegas. Los Angeles. Right behind Hollywood Boulevard, and something's happened to America in the past couple of years, and it's a bit how you going. So we stayed in this place, and obviously, like right on Hollywood Boulevard, it was expensive, but fuck me, it was like pretty shady shit. Like I walked in to my first room, and there was no sheets on the bed, pizza boxes, fucking Coke bottles, and shit all over the floor. And I was like, oh, excuse me, I don't think this room is ready. And she's like, oh, I'll change your room. So I went upstairs to this other room, and I walked in and I was like, fuck, I swear that's cum on my sheets. And then I was like, I looked at it and I think maybe it was like just a little bit of muck. But on the last day when I was leaving, I was like, fucking, what is that? And the sun must have hit it perfectly, and this big load of jizz was just glistening on the curtains. And I walked up to it, took a photo. Everyone's like, that's cum.
Was it like still running, or it's...
No, it was solid as a rock.
You should have just...
It tasted off too.
You should have just thrown it at Rob and seen if it cut him.
Yeah.
What was that movie where he throws that rag and he's like...
Oh, your rag just cut me.
He's like, dude, did that rag just cut me?
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, we'll find that movie.
So, Troy Fabian says... I reckon managing finances and taxes would be a great episode, and that it was his biggest fear when he started. Once again, Troy, look, I think if you're looking for immediate information, probably head over to Aussie Lawn Stars.
Yeah.
They got some really good content. And look, we might mess with it because it is something that we've been, requested a couple of times. We've kind of been dodging it.
Maybe, we'll get in a professional, I think. I think it's something, it's someone's livelihood. I don't really want to give them... Like, I can tell everyone how I rock and roll,
yeah,
but I might not have the best practices. So.
No, but I think it's more about also knowing the right questions to ask. Yeah. I think you can... I know that, like, we put ourselves out there for exposure anyway, but, we can expose ourselves pretty bad if we...
Yeah.
And I think it's important to note as well that, like, we're not... sure enough, we both have great businesses.
Yeah.
We've both been through a lot. I've been accused a lot lately of being unprofessional, but I think some people need to realise, like, I'm not sitting in an office with a suit on.
Yeah.
Like, I am everything from a fabricator
You had no shirt on when I rolled up.
Yeah, I had shoes on.
Yeah, you did have shoes on.
I've taken them off now.
Yeah.
But...
what a fucking shirt pussy, and you didn't even tell me you were going to let us shoot. But I had half a fucking... Did you not see the big leaf that was stuck underneath my eye?
Oh, I didn't know.
It's in your sink now, but a big leaf stuck to my face.
Adam wants to know about management of personal injuries and options, etc., to cover insurance of subcontractors. Now, this is something that I want to spend a couple of minutes talking about. Management of personal injuries, like, if you'd have asked me 10 years ago, I would have said, mate, fucking, you need some concrete and fucking harden up.
Yeah.
But coming from someone who is a broken down person, a shell of what they were, now you also have a lot of health issues with your feet.
Yes.
Something that is horrible for you, right?
It's fucked. Like, some days, it's hard to, like, walk without... I have house shoes.
Yeah.
Because I just need that arch support because of... Well, look, let's bring it back to the main issue. I'm fat as fuck, so
yeah, but that's the thing. Okay, everyone, BJ's brought this up with me behind closed doors. Now, I am not fat as fuck, and I have similar issues.
Yeah.
So, I think... I don't know exactly what my issue... I mean, look, my issue is that I didn't wear shoes enough. I would wear boots, obviously, while I'm working, but in my recreational life, I never wore shoes.
Yeah, neither did I.
No thongs or nothing. I was just barefoot as much as I could.
I wore thongs, so...
And so, I think when we're talking about self-management and personal injuries, look, I know how this is going to sound, and I know how I would have responded to this, but I shit you not, when I used to work with Russell, he used to spend 5 to 10 minutes stretching at work before a day's work. And I used to look at him and think, you fucking asshole, you were wasting my time. And I am the complete opposite now.
Yeah.
I think staying hydrated, really stretching, and loosening up your body before you're about to do 2 hours of whippersnipping. If you're lifting heavy grass bags, don't just lean into them. My back injury, I wasn't even lifting anything. I just leant the wrong way.
Yeah.
And it huge. It was a massive cause of just neglect.
Yeah.
So.
Basically, take care of yourself. If you have something that's bothering you, get it checked out. I was
talking to MG the other day, and you can go back into the archives and listen to the episode with him, but we were even talking about, you're loading rubbish into your trailer and just jumping into the trailer and jumping out freeborn.
Yeah.
Just like jumping out of, like a 6-foot trailer.
Now, forget about like injuries such as like your knees, your back and shit like that. I hope to Christ everyone out there is fucking hitting up those skin doctors and getting their skin checked every 6 months at least.
Yeah, look, I think once a year.
That's it. You do once a year.
Look, I've dropped the ball a little bit, but we were doing once a year. I'm just not in the sun as much as I was.
Well, I've got a decent scar on my neck already, so I have to make sure that I just
don't forget, these days I just sit in one spot inside with a bird just going bang, bang,
well,
bang.
that's it. I spent the first 12 years of my working career inside, in freezers and in cold rooms, and working on forklifts. So same. But
in my peak at Greenscape Solutions, I was darker than some of my Aboriginal friends.
Yeah.
Like,
that's no joke, bro.
I was mowing.
You were almost one of those Gold Coast leather ladies.
It wasn't like leather. It was the colour. The skin was still reasonable.
It's true, yeah, but that tan couch look.
I used to mow 24/7 in the sun, and then I used to go surfing all weekend.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, that's the life that I lived.
You guys would all be surfing, and I'd still be like, oh, my skin. And I'd just be putting sunblock on for about fucking 30 minutes.
I remember I went to an Ice Cube concert, which was fucking scary, man. And I actually I was just having a ciggy or whatever, and this dude actually came up to me. He goes, "What the hell are you supposed to be? Some sort of Italian Aboriginal?" And I was just like, I didn't even. I just knew that anything that I said, I was going to get cracked. But he ended up being alright. He didn't crack me.
He didn't bell you.
So maybe he could just see that I was instantly shit scared.
He felt bad straight away. He's like, fucking pussy.
That was when one of our mates, Kyle, was just full sloshed, and I remember the most intimidating thing was going to the toilet that night.
Yeah.
And one of my mates, who's loose cannon, this dude was just like taking a piss in one of the what are they called? Not a cubicle, like
a sink or a bin.
Yeah. No, like in the.
Like a trough.
In a trough, but just like one.
Like a singular trough.
Yeah, like a single trough, and he just walked straight in. He's just like, yeah, sword fight. Wasn't a big issue, and then like he reckons he's looked down, and it was the biggest dick he'd ever seen in his whole life. The dude was holding him with two hands.
Oh my god! Fucking hell! I'm lucky to get 2 fingers on mine.
Anyway, so look, in terms of insurances, guys, you just gotta have it.
Yeah, and definitely check your super fund and make sure that your super fund's looking after you, because that's a big part. I don't know, because I've looked into getting work cover on myself. I wonder if when I eventually turn into a company, is that something I can look at? Because I know now I can't get covered. At the moment, work cover said it's just for employees. But in the future, if I'm a company, hopefully the company can give me work cover, and then if I fuck myself up, then I'm covered.
Yeah, and when I was going through my back issues and I was a full-time contractor, I didn't have work cover. Like, I couldn't take the time off that I needed really without. I mean, I hired someone to take over duties, and obviously we copped that sweet.
Yeah.
But that can be devastating in so many ways to small business owners. I mean,
huge.
Even just think about, look, the way that I always thought about it was my employees were my insurance.
Yeah.
And I think a comment came up somewhere else about someone's offsider who is an excellent worker, but they've had like 12 sick days off in like 6 months.
Yeah, that's too many.
And I know like my workers, and I'm just going to aim it mostly around Rusty just because he was kind of like my right-hand guy. But like, man, he saw me work with pneumonia. He saw me mince my foot and strap my boot on and just hobble behind that push mower.
Yeah.
I think all in all, like, that's not really, like, I'm not telling people to work hurt or anything like that, but I think if you've got workers, you've got to get that work cover for them.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable to not have it. Even BJ right now is Even BJ right now is going through a claim, which is not ideal, but at the end of the day, at least like there can't be a lawsuit.
And it's out of our hands now, so that's what you pay your money for. It's out of our hands, and hopefully they get it all sorted out.
So actually, believe it or not, there's a contractor who has huge business, has 30 workers, and they do council roads from Brisbane to Toowoomba. Funny enough, he was outside my house like an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
And we were just chatting. He knows who I am, and he said, "Yeah, I got a guy off work cover. Drove the mower into a cactus or something."
Oh, fuck that!
And
cactus.
Yeah, and if you don't have the cover and everything in place, like, that can really turn into something bad for a small business.
Fuck yeah.
Because they can sue and do all sorts of shit.
Yeah, that's it.
Jared Summer wants to know more about burnout. He said he's cooked. He wants to go more in depth. Maybe we can spend a couple of minutes refreshing everyone's minds, some things that help with burnout. And look, I think being organised,
huge,
and being motivated. I know that when I'm not motivated, I am fucking miserable. And
trying to get into routine. So I'll give you a little bit of backstory that right now I'm looking after something that I don't normally look after, and it's like a 6:30 till 2:30 sort of gig. And I haven't felt this regular and normal in so long, because I'm used to like bouncing like a fucking crazy man to different sites and different quotes and shit like that. I'm just getting up, grabbing my shit, grab my coffee, off to work I go, do what I need to do, have a chat to residents, just having a good yarn to people, getting everything done. Fucking the compliments are just like washing over me. Like, people are sending emails to like the fucking top of the ladder, and I'm just like, whoa. I'm like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. And it gives you a bit of satisfaction. You're like, ooh, I feel good. But now I'm scared that I like it too much.
Yeah, and obviously that's going to be, but I think when people talk about burnout, probably something that immediately comes up is that they're probably not happy.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's difficult to say what is going to make people happy. Like, what are the circumstances? I know, money is a huge issue as well. Like,
always.
People say, there's that saying out there that, money doesn't buy happiness. And
it can buy you a new Bipper Dipper though.
Look, I gotta be honest, I'm way more happier when I'm making money.
Fuck yeah.
And, I guess I think that saying, I think that's really talking about when you're getting way ahead in life and making millions and gazillions of dollars.
Yeah.
I don't think that applies to small businesses. So
no.
I truly believe
it's the whole point in having a small business is to make money.
You're
not out there for charity, unless your small business is a charity. But realistically, like, money makes things easier. You can see growth in your business, and it's kind of a measuring stick for your business. If you're not making money, then why are you doing it?
Well, the only other thing would be lifestyle, and
that's fair enough.
Say for example, I mentioned the people out the back before on this horse paddock. Apparently they almost run everything at a loss, but it's because of the lifestyle. They're living in a ranch, they're free, they got fuck all, but they're so happy.
Yeah.
And realistically, I think it's either kind of lifestyle or happiness.
Yeah.
Lifestyle or money.
Oh, yeah.
And look, I think it's fantastic to find a pretty, good balance between them.
It's the balance.
Yeah, like, if you can have a good lifestyle and have the money.
Yeah.
Hey, what better situation is that?
And I've also found in regards to that balance is never let a bad day ruin your week. Like, there's going to be shit day. Like, everyone has shit days. Things happen. Fucking, it's all G. Just fucking write that day off. Like, there's been times where I've just, take for instance, at the moment with this work cover stuff, like last week I worked for free. Like, I got fucking nothing out of last week because, you have to pay an excess and pay money. And that was like I'm doing the job that I was paying someone else to do. And so I worked for free. But, this week's a new week and you got to fucking get over that shit, because next week will be another week, and then if I'm still sad after that, I'm fucked. I'm throw it in.
I'm more than happy to do a part 2 on burnout next week. If we want to dedicate a whole episode to it.
Yeah, I reckon. I mean, we're getting into the season now. It's hot. People are fucking really kicking off now. Don't ruin relationships with existing customers to bring on new customers that may not be as good as the existing customers. Make sure I did that one year. I just fucking got rid of a ton of customers. To take on some new ones, like some acreage customers, and fuck, I regretted that. Because they all moved out or bought their own mowers in about fucking 2 months.
Tim Samuel does piggyback on this and said it's all about balance, knowing your limits, when and where and how much you can push, when, where and how, and when it's time to slow down, figuring out what actually recharges you and doing that thing. So I love that comment. Like, you know, sometimes it might just be spending time with your family.
Yeah.
And I know that doesn't pay any bills.
But that's your thing, isn't it? Like, you do the weekend, like, you guys go out, you go fucking, you know, walking for miles, you go surfing.
I think
horse shit.
I think I just remember.
Is that your recharge? Do you feel better when you do those things?
Oh, look, I don't necessarily think so. Like, I think if my kids were entertained without me, you know, I would happily do my own thing. But at the same time, I just remember last summer, one of my girls came up to me and they said, and it was like 4:00 in the afternoon, and I think one of them said, like, hey Dad, when you finish building that Catch Pro, can you help me do something in the pool? And I just like looked at it, like I just kind of just stopped and was thinking, like, I'm working too much. And so, you know, now, like, I mean, my wife and I were in the office until like 9 o'clock last night. Like, working does not bother me. But it shouldn't consume people where they're giving up time with their families. And if you don't have a family, you know, try and look for a partner. Because,
or dedicate some of that time to yourself. Like,
you know, because you've even said it yourself, like, your wife is like your best mate. And sometimes, I mean, Vicky's the same. Like, sometimes I even almost fuck up bad and I'm like, well, Vic, you should have seen this bitch I seen today or something. And I'm just like, oh man, like, I can't say that to her. Like, she's not my pal. You know, like...
Then you text me, I'm like,
so, you know, like, I think having that companionship and that partner that goes through that grind with you is also very important and refreshing.
And because you can share with partner, but... Yeah, well, always bounce stuff off your mates too. Like, your mates can help you get out of the hole. Like, if you got something that's bouncing around your head, doing head miles on things, fuck, I'm over that. So I always make sure, like, I talk to Benny, I'll talk to the boys at work, I talk to my missus. That's probably jumping into the burnout section, but...
Yeah, so we'll get there, but I do think another great suggestion might be in community groups like LMCA, where we're getting all of our information from today. Put a post up. Maybe, you know, we saw some folks went and had a pub lunch the other day.
Why don't we do that? Oh, wait, because we fucking always working, Ben.
Yeah, but, you know, maybe... Look, I know years and years ago, we used to have something similar. Everyone would just grab fish and chips every day. Some people don't stick around for half an hour. Some people would stick around for an hour. It's a chance to mingle with some like-minded people. All of that stuff is a great way to stay refreshed and recharged. I know that when I used to go to work, you know, my person was like Rusty, you know, because like I wouldn't work with him full time.
And networking is king too, don't forget that.
But like, I used to love my village days because I'd get to hang out with Russ, and it was just a little bit refreshing. So we'll do an episode on that next week. He does go on to say the key to balance is to not be static or stationary. Finding balance means constant minor adjustments. Life is supposed to be ebb and flow. So
like it. Tim Samuel, you fucking wise cat.
He seems like he's in the right space too. And I think that it's not pig-headed advice.
Yeah.
You know, some people
it was
might
actually,
say like
good advice.
Some people might say like, you know, have a cocoa smile or shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Who said that once?
I said that last week.
Will wants to know about mulching versus catching.
Look out. Well, I mulched for the first time the other day.
I didn't.
With me new bushy.
Elliot Spencer's stirring the pot with wants to know the best and worst of Facebook lawn pages.
Damn, girl.
So honestly, I think lawn pages are excellent.
I think that's where I spend most of my time when I'm on social media. Like I probably should be working on my own profile.
I think I posted a comment the other day saying that I actually post my feelings on LMCA.
Yeah.
Like I don't use my personal Facebook.
No, neither do
I only use it pretty much for LMCA. Obviously, like I have like I just don't post personally much.
No. Some of the fucking things I used to post up, like when Facebook first started, because that's how old I am, are so dumb.
Yeah, I used to share, you know, some mad NBA highlights and maybe some cool, funny things, but I never posted.
No, I mean, like some of my posts are just like, oh, you know, this is what it's like being a dolphin trainer in Brisbane. It's like, what the fuck does that mean, man? Like, what kind of meth were you smoking? Just random shit like that just doesn't make sense.
But I don't think we need to do. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot it's a joke. Okay, Russell said upsells. Now, we've got a whole episode on upselling.
Yeah.
I think this is a little bit more specific about grub treatments and fertilizers.
Yeah.
It's another one of those things where we've completely dodged a chemical episode.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it, everyone. BJ didn't want to.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we're not qualified, we don't have fucking tickets, but
I think Wally can help us out with that too from ICL.
Just a quick heads up, by the way, Cashpro is going to be a reseller for the Plant Doctor.
Damn!
So we have to work out all the back end, and we'll have to figure out where we're stocking everything. But that is coming. So, and we're going to have it. We're going to have it at a mad price too.
Fuck yeah!
So if you're coming to get blades, or if you're getting snipper heads or whatever, and you're like, hell yeah, let's grab some seaweed. You can.
Get some fucking seaweed secrets, India.
JT, he said his suggestion was options about invoicing software.
Yep.
Look, I am just holding off for Tyson's software program.
Yeah, fair enough.
So like,
I mean, I could reach out to Rounded. That's the one that I use. But to be honest, I've sent an invoice, a quote a couple of weeks ago, and it didn't make it. But I don't know why. It said it's sent. So that's the first one and the only one that's ever glitched on. Maybe I fucked up, but we'll see.
Now, Kurt McLean says, how to value your business. People are always trying to sell their businesses. By the way, Kurt McLean, I'm pretty sure, had this suggestion about the debt collection episode that we did last week. Nice. And I remembered that I didn't give him a shout out. This is another great suggestion.
I actually saw someone selling their business on LMCA, and the way it was set out, I literally took my phone, I said to my wife, I said, that's how you fucking sell a business. I think someone was moving overseas.
I might have scrolled that. I didn't look at it. I didn't pay attention
fucking read it, man. Bulls, it's a good business and a good buy. It won't be cheap, but for someone who really wants to invest, excellent business.
For anyone who is interested in that topic, we do have an episode, and it's called Buying and Selling Business Rounds.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of formulas out there. To me, a lot of businesses are overpriced these days. I think it's difficult. It's really difficult to value, and there's also a lot of mixed feedback on whether it's a good or bad idea.
Yeah.
I am pro buying business rounds. I think it's a great idea to immediately obtain an income. There are several downsides.
Yeah.
I think you always have to do your due diligence. I don't know that we would ever really piggyback on that topic. I think we probably unpacked a lot of it in that other episode. JT, how to streamline your work. cutting out all the wasted time, a list of hacks that make all your work hours billable. Be like me, only pick clients that aren't home or don't come out. So look, several of these practices, you know, like you've got little bits and pieces that you do, pal.
Yeah, you know, the first one is be organised and be ahead. So like I've got everything organised for tomorrow and I had that done by 12 today. I've got a bit of a mixed bag this week. I had a few customers reach out and just ask for some extras and I was like, fuck, I got to get onto that. So straight away I was just like, boom, 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 messaged the boys, gave them a list, messaged the fucking clients, made sure they were all going to be right for, you know, the times we were rocking up. And then I was just like, yep, sweet, done. Ticked it off my list. So being organised is huge. It's a huge time saver. What the fuck was that?
It's, sorry.
It was a shadow.
It's definitely the number one thing, being organised, but like something that screams out to me first is your setups. And not everyone has all the money in the world to have things set up, ideally. But work with what you can. I think having your rig set up is the first way to eliminate dead hours in your work site. And we've seen the stories about people leaving mowers to take green waste away, and then they got to come back and pick up their mowers and stuff like that. I think all of that stuff really ties into, like, I mean, that person can save a fuckload of time by not doing that. Also can be something as simple as picking one day a week that you fill up all your pieces of equipment and jerry cans.
Yeah.
Try and figure out, you know, if it happens to be 2 days a week that you have to do it, fair enough.
Yeah.
Try and get it all done in one day, because like I know for me, when I used to go and do that, it would be like a half an hour round trip.
Yeah. It takes a while.
I used to
especially if someone else is on the other side with their pump.
Used to mix all the oils at home. I used to empty my jerry cans into existing machines, you know, to get the most out of everything. Yeah. All of that organisation stuff. You know, making sure you've got enough trimmer line for the first job of the day. So many things. Even the green waste management.
Easy things too, like keeping an extra bipper head on board, rapid reload, because fucking, you know, that can cost you an hour, depending on where you are, where your jobs are, to where your local dealer is. You got to jump in the car, go and get yourself a new whipper head, come all the way back.
And I know people can probably listen to some of this and be like, fuck, it's easy for them to say, but like everything that I do is literally like a hack or a jig.
Yeah.
And I definitely do things like, people will actually see on Instagram, like I unload pallets by hand, instead of having a pallet jack doing things.
I've been fucking telling you for so long, get a pallet jack, man. But
yeah, but I just...
You don't listen.
No, Cash Pro, it's just a different kettle of fish. Like, I can be intense work, 60 hours a week for like 5 or 6 weeks straight. And then I can have like 3 or 4 weeks where I've got some emailing to do. I can go and have a business meeting here and there. It's not the same as mowing. It's not that daily grind.
Yeah.
You know, where you do something and then the next fortnight you could be at the same place to the exact hour. It's not like that in Cash Pro. Yeah, so, and I'm fucking determined to do everything by myself.
I know. I've been telling you to get some help, but you're like,
nah. Fuck that. Now, Brett said the things that we would have done differently in our businesses with the value of hindsight. Now, I replied saying, oh boy, this would be like a fucking 5-hour episode.
This is
based
an incredible episode. Maybe we should leave this one and make that not next week, but the week after. That's a fucking good episode.
There's one thing I can't stand. And when people say I live with no regrets, and
nice,
that person who lives with no regrets better be the most perfect motherfucker on earth. Because I'm telling you now, I reckon I had a pretty good business. But boy, oh boy, did I learn some things the hard way.
Mate, I have daily regrets. I'm like, fuck, I should have done that earlier. Or, I wish I fucking didn't miss that little bit of fucking leaves up there. Or, just the little regrets. But
I mean, even
some big ones.
Man, even dumb shit that I did like last week, like starting fights on Aussie contractors. You know, sometimes I have some minutes where I think to yourself, you know, wouldn't it have been great to have that 2020 hindsight?
Yeah.
You know, and you look, you can have regrets, but you can still stand by your actions.
Yeah.
I think when we're talking about mowing businesses, there's a lot of ways that you can fuck up.
Yeah. So many. So I've been in business now for like 9 years. This is year 9 maybe. I don't know, fucking heaps. Anyway, my first 4 years were a fucking absolute mess. Maybe 3 years. They were fucking terrible.
Jeez, I think you're being a bit hard on yourself.
Oh, they were awful, mate. The only reason I fucking made it through is because I've had a bit of fucking coin in my pocket. So, yeah,
I know.
I had some shit times.
So I'm definitely happy to make this an episode. I think something that really helped me through was having some mentors. You know, I had Shorey, I had Tyson. I believe they're the only ones. But also my old man, very early on. You know, whilst he wasn't really a mentor business-wise, he kind of gave me the opportunity.
Yeah.
And not everyone has that. That's fine. I mean, I was only 16.
Yeah.
But I think some of those things, you know, people might have those situations in their lives, and maybe 10 years from now they might look back and say, I wish I didn't take that for granted, or maybe I wish I took my peers' support or opportunity, you know.
Yeah.
So hindsight is a fucking lovely thing. It makes us all better. James Cox wants to know how good BJ looks naked.
Oh, it's fucking awful. You should see me when I sit in the bottom of the shower. It's fucking gross.
I got an image of that.
Did you? Just me sitting, and I look like a fucking orangutan. You know, they sit there and they got that big fucking nice big fucking.
I've seen it. Have we ever told the story about when we were really young, and we used to come home, and then like you would be drunk in the shower, just hurling all over yourself. And because I had a weak stomach, then I'd have to vomit as well. And your mum would be sitting in the other room, just like, what the fuck are you two doing? And we're just like, just thrashing your bathroom.
And the fucking bathroom, it was like before we moved in, they had to take 2 skips out. So I grew up fucking poor as shit. And my mum just bounced when I was like 17. She was like, you're too fucked, and went bush. So I'm like, you know, just about to finish school and shit. I got a house to myself, so we were just fucking loose. And
this is when she was still there.
Oh no! So she went when I was 18. So yeah, she was like, I'm fucking out of here. You're fucked. So yeah, we would just fucking get blind and
BJ would get so blind drunk. And
was it you that I drank like a bottle of Jack Daniels in like less than an hour, and you like forced me to throw up in the middle of the room?
Oh yeah, but if anyone's watching on YouTube, just give him one of these ticklers.
The 2 fingers down the back of the throat. I still made it out.
That was disgusting. I'm so glad I'm grown up. Gary Ashton says client bonuses and Christmas gifts, but whilst that sounds great, I mean, to all the commercial guys, it's just not a factor, is it? Like, I remember I used to get mad gifts, and then when I was like, got into not the villages, because that's just a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. I'm thinking about getting something for one of the community centres, like maybe, I don't know, a couple of bottles of fucking champagne or something like that. Carton of beers.
Yeah, we might look at that a bit closer to Christmas.
Yeah.
Lenny Lawler says, "Where's the best place you've ever flicked a booger?" And that would be on Rusty. So we have another comment here from Wian.
Oh yeah, Wian driver.
Wian.
Dryer.
It just feels weird saying that. Hopefully I got it right.
Just say wine.
Personal injuries, kind of messed around with that before, and like I said, that's another great topic. Lenny Lawler wants to know if you wear any underpants.
Yeah, I wear like...
They're halfway in his ass, but he's got them on.
Yeah, you know what though? I originally went with step ones. I thought they were the bomb. They ain't shit, man. They lasted me like 3 months and my balls were hanging out the bottom of those bad boys. I went with Tradies undies, and they're like the step one copies. I'm only just after like a year and a half, I'm just starting to get those little tea bags, you know, like a little hole, and then that bit of sack goes through it, and you're like, fuck, something is going on in my pants, like, and it's like burning, and you're like, uh-oh, and then you like pull your pants down a little bit, and it just goes back out.
I just
That was just an ad for Tradies fucking snap-on undies.
I just don't have any of these issues.
I got big old man balls, eh? That adds to the visual when I'm sitting in the bottom of the shower. Just this fucking sack of rocks sitting on the floor.
Benny Williams says, how to achieve your ideal business model.
Just fucking do it. Like Nike said.
And so, to spend a minute on this, I think we've maybe talked a little bit about it before, but I think it's necessary to have a whole list of achievable smaller goals to help you get to the King Daddy. And I think...
Keep talking, Ben.
Why the fuck are you up?
I'm just double checking the fucking camera's still right.
Now you're just going to be uber loud to everyone.
Yeah, no, I'll be uber quiet because the microphone's over here.
Yeah, fucking...
You don't even know what's fucking going on, mate.
So I just want to say to Benny Williams, in terms of ever achieving your ideal business model, you know, if this is just speaking from personal experience, I am just never satisfied.
Yeah.
You know, when I started Catch Pro, I remember I was like, man, if I can sell 3 catches a week, I am just going to be the fucking happiest dude. Then, like, you know, we got to a certain amount per month, money wise, and I was like, you know what, man, if like I don't want to go behind this, and if I can do this, like I'll be okay. And we're doing like a fair bit more than that, and myself, just the way that I am, I want the sky is the limit for me. I just want, and when I ran Greenscape Solutions, I felt like I could manage a whole suburb. Yeah. Like I was so confident in my abilities to manage works that I was like, I can literally fucking mow the whole of Brisbane. Yeah. That's the way I felt.
So now that's my thing. Like I'm not satisfied with where I am. I want
human
one
nature.
More. Yeah, I want one more. And then I'm like, I want the staff. I want the ideal staff. I want the people that resonate with me. And then I want to, you know, get another one and then another one. I just want a bunch of dudes that are fun to be with. And
I think a good role model for someone looking for that type of comment would potentially be Corey Ballard with the Green Grind podcast.
With Perfect Cut?
Yeah, he's like a dude that...
fucking wild, that shit.
I mean, he is a guy that I think he's top 20 in America. In the landscape industry, business, and what we all have to realise, like you kind of hear top 20, you think like, fuck, that's not that good. Yeah. But top 20 over there is like millions upon millions in revenue per year. You know, you're talking 221 employees with 3 huge sites.
And a never-ending business because they go from fucking lawns and gardens to snow and just back again. And
man, they do awesome shit
irrigation.
They do awesome shit too. Like in the Christmas time in December, maybe they start this in November, they actually do like all the Christmas lighting.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's a few dudes on, like I've seen on the American pages that do it.
And we know some people around here that have messed with some other, like they have other, side businesses, or maybe just parts of their business, whether it's firewood or what have you.
Yep.
So that might be a really awesome place to have a look, the Green Grind podcast. Trevor Jones wants to know about expenses and debt collection. Trevor, you probably go and listen to last week's episode.
Yeah.
Josh said he wants to hear more NOLA stories. Mate, when they roll off the dome organically, I'll always chime in with one. Bad stuff's happening with the thread right now.
What's happening? Oh my god.
Taz wants to know about all the different tools that people have used. Now, we've had a couple of equipment episodes.
Yeah.
So once again, you can head back into the archives. David North, more fucking sessions. Just because BJ went away, you bastards got slack.
Apparently fucking Benny's jumped over onto Aussie fucking Lawn Stars. I was supposed to do a
Hey man,
interview.
I'm a fucking guest.
I know. Well, he's asked you to be on there twice and he hasn't asked me, so fuck.
You're in the fucking US.
Yeah, I know. So I was supposed to do an
you want to fight right now?
I would really like it. I've got some tension to unleash. Probably end up making out.
Alistair Duncan, his suggestion is planning for the future. With the current economic situation around the world is only going to get worse. I expect by this time next year, a lot of people, operators and clients will be feeling the pinch. This is actually a pretty good suggestion.
I don't know. Depends. It depends what kind of work you've targeted.
Well, I also want to say that there has been a lot of talk about whether we're going to go into recession. Are people going to stop purchasing? Is it going to be like it was in the 80s where, and like I've only heard this from my parents and people similar that like, mate, no one went out to dinner. You didn't do anything because interest rates were through the roof. I think based on your business, the industry is still growing.
Yeah.
The services, there is still demand for services.
Yeah. The grass never stops growing and someone's got to fucking cut that shit.
Based on Catch Pro, people are still opening up their wallets and investing.
Yeah.
We haven't seen any signs of an actual recession just yet.
Now think about it. People will literally have to work more to pay their bills, which means that not only will they have to work more, but we'll have to work more. Everyone's going to be so time poor that we're going to be in demand. Now, I've seen fucking countless posts going up on all the community groups, like people help, and like there are a lot of contractors. And this brings me to another story that I'll get into after. But yeah, I fucking legit, like I've never seen so many, helpers outposts with lawn mowing before. So
yeah,
the demand is there at the moment. In the future, I don't see it changing much. Like,
it's tough because, and I don't think that I'm qualified to talk about a fucking recession, but look, I still have my opinions though. And, my thought is that all the interest rises and everything, a lot of that is only going to affect, say, new-ish homeowners. People like you and me.
people like us.
So everyone that, people who've had their house for 20 years and, things like that, obviously, yes, there is a rising cost, but it's not going to affect them that much as it will the new homeowners.
Yeah.
And then we also actually have to have a look at the population that actually owns homes in Australia. The rise of cost of living, no matter what, the cost of living, fuck, how many times am I going to coop this? It's rising no matter which way you look at it. But wages are also rising, and our industry is becoming more of a money-making industry rather than your cowboy, hey, let's grab a mower and let's make some pocket money.
Yeah.
So I think if we can all stay confident stay savvy. I do think that will be. Honestly, I think the industry has seen worse times.
Yeah.
Including the drought.
Yeah, fucking drought. That's panic stations.
So hopefully, look, it's something that I don't think we can forecast. I like the topic though.
Yeah.
Humongous 2.
Yeah, 2.0.
He said, write down a portion of these suggestions and do a semi-freestyle episode.
What's it all about?
That's what we're doing, mate.
Yeah.
And honestly, like that's where we got this episode from.
Thanks, you.
Total wants to know the tricks of the trades, tips to improve time efficiency.
We already had one of those.
Yeah, and I think we can all, I think we can piggyback. Like, I think we've got some good content for the next month here. Confessions of a Lawn Mowing Contractor with Rick Williams.
We need fucking Leroy for that.
Oh, did you see?
Don't even talk about the wood chopping with his bell end.
Can I just say, anyone who's not following Lawns, is it Lawns?
Lawns by Leroy.
Can everyone please go and follow him and have a look at his penis right now?
It is fucking... It's a good one. It's a good one. He's got a... I've never seen the fucking outline of a knob in track pants before.
While cutting wood.
Cutting wood.
So...
And I was quite aroused and I didn't know why.
We've all heard the stories about him pantsing like heaps of his women clientele. Jeez. And I know exactly why.
Yeah.
He is someone who gets refreshed at work. And he is very, very happy.
He's super savvy.
Sam Gunn, the art of dodging annoying customers at the property, keeping your back turned to them while using the bib. Oh man, I tell you what, I'm a super nice dude and like I can talk underwater.
Yeah.
But when I get to the point where like I don't want to, I can just be a straight up asshole.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah,
I can't see you being like that, man.
Nah, I bitch you out all the time. I said to the young fellow I got working with me at the moment, I'm like, we gotta go, bud, and he's just like chatting to this old lady, and I was like, man, I gotta go and do this podcast, eh? Like, he's like, yeah, okay. So he's like slowly backing away, and then she's like, oh, you've done such a good job, and I was like, oh, I'll stay for the praise.
Yeah. Sam Gunn said that he has a poop story, so hey, fill us in. We don't have to say it was. I mean,
yeah.
I guess the next time we hear a poop story,
just PM us.
it was from Sam Gunn, all right?
Yeah, all right. Well, I threw a poop story in there with me black bread roll.
Thoughts and tips on going from a solo operator having an offsider. So I think we had an employee episode.
Yeah.
I think. Geez, that would be going back.
It's one of the hardest things you can do, I think, going from solo to having an offsider, because you need to justify that person. You either need to take a hit or you need to have something to, make their wage. And it can't be...
Look, we've heard people say, I don't really like giving him props, but I think it was Alistair, and he said, like, he used to employ people and he just was like, he just got to the point where it was like, fuck this, I'm going to go get a 32 stand on. And that's his employee. So I think it's horses for courses. I know that I loved having an offsider, but it has to be someone that is capable, someone that's like-minded.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to unpack on that. Paul Ellis said how to handle client embarrassing moments, such as what to say when a client catches you pissing on their lemon tree. Well, let me say, I'm just going to save it because I know we're going long. I might sort of jump back in, and sidebar next episode. But mate, I've had some doozies in my life.
Oh, okay. I just remembered that I was coming back to something before. Now, in the local groups, not only have there been lots of people posting about, needing someone to come and mow their lawn, but there's also someone in my local area that's trying to cut people's grass. And by that, I mean that he's been messaging women and saying, do you need a mo, and hugs and kisses and all this shit. And these are women with partners, and they're like, oh, I'd really like to go out for a coffee. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but I think maybe he has a slight disability. Not 100% sure, but fuck me, like, it was funny. The thread, it's like, one lady's like, has anyone else had a message from this guy? And then like, blink, 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 like all these people. I was like, this guy's a player. But yeah, unwanted text to clients.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
So JT, making sure your business isn't the one constantly paying the price for the current extreme growth through weather. We're seeing that at the moment. Clients need to understand the frequency of visits. Hey, look, honestly, in my business, and this is going to change from market to market, but I would not even take a phone call. Obviously I'd take the phone call. I would not even do a quote unless they were 100% open to fortnightly, almost all year round.
Yeah.
I would accept
fortnightly or weekly.
Yeah, I never push weekly on anyone. But mate, like rentals and stuff like that, like, oh no, we do this 3 weekly, right? Like, nah, man, I'm not even considering it. Like, no,
I'm always,
I don't even want to talk about it any further.
Yeah, it's got to be weekly, fortnightly, or monthly. I don't fuck with that 3-week shit because that throws a spanner in the works every time. I don't know if many people do. Like 3 weekly just makes my fucking skin crawl. I did have some people when I first started were adamant that it had to be 3 weekly, and they were the first to go because it just, schedule wise, 3 weeklies just don't work.
It's too hard to hit the suburbs, but I think as a business owner, whatever makes sense in whatever market you're in.
Yeah.
And you know, if it's weekly or fortnightly, whatever is ideal, I think you just have to dictate that.
Yeah.
And don't take anything less, because even if you charge accordingly, it's still more work on your equipment, more work on you personally, more waste you have to take away. You're just doing more per service. And hey, you might be charging double, but you know,
that's the other thing, like charge accordingly if someone's got you in.
Well, obviously you can charge accordingly, but fuck it, you think about all your consumables, the amount of trimmer line, your blades are getting flogged, your oil, like your machine's working harder, you're using more oil.
That's it. In summer, when you hit a lawn after a month that should be a fortnightly mow, it never takes you double the time. You're always there for a bit longer. It's a pain in the ball sack. Plus your dumping costs, all that shit.
So Andy said, is the grooming flap the greatest piece of rubber in the world or the biggest waste of rubber in the world? What's a grooming flap, dude?
I think a grooming flap is I don't know. Is that the little flap on the back of the mower that drags along?
I'm not sure. I don't know what a grooming flap is, but Andy...
Help us, Andy.
I should have responded to this comment because now I'm very intrigued.
Andy.
Excuse my ignorance if it's something that everyone knows about.
Well, I think it's got something to do with that little, you know, on a Honda, like when you get a new one, there's that little rubber flap that drags along. I guess it's like a stripe kit.
Possibly. Fletch said that we do an awesome job, but he wants the audio to be louder. And I agree with him.
Well, look, we have been in talks with people about getting more equipment in here, but I do not want to invest when we are not making some money. Like we're not making any money, are we?
No.
We're basically just we've done 73 episodes for free.
Look, it's not even about the money to me.
It's not about the money. I don't know.
I got to be honest, I don't know what microphone we need.
I know exactly what we should have, but it just takes the simplicity out of it, and then I'll have to invest more time, which means, you know, it's a big ask. I walk in with my phone to do this podcast, I plug the mic in, and away we go. We do with the bare minimum, we make it happen. But we don't have a studio. We don't have like fucking soundproofing. There is a bit of an echo in here, I've noticed, since we moved in here, which is something we can't really avoid. Like time is expensive, and we spend a lot of time doing it. So, you know, what do you reckon time-wise we spend on the podcast every week? Maybe like three hours, something like that?
Well, I mean, we usually shoot for 90 minutes minimum.
How many phone calls do we have? What should we talk about this week?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't. I guess the bulkiness of it is the actual shoot, but I think what's tough about it is that we try and have a set time, and whatever happens during the day, or like. But anyway, look, we will work on it. Derek Sargent says, getting an accountant on. I won't read the rest of the comment just because we've already touched on this previously. But hey, everyone wants to see that, so it's possible. Ori, I'd love to see an episode from a dealer's perspective. So we shot an episode with Will from Rosebud when BJ was having some family issues, and we never went to air, and I'm glad it didn't. It doesn't feel right without you. So we can get a dealer in again. Kevin says technology, remote automation, etc. What it means for the industry. Now, look,
they took our jobs.
Look, there's a certain amount of people in the community right now that are so pro on this topic and totally understand. So Gary Ashton over at Aussie Lawn Stars, he's getting fully amongst it, and he's a huge, he's going to be leading the way in this. Yeah. And, we have Clint down in Camden from Camden Garden Solutions, who is a dealer.
Yeah. Now, as usual, we don't have half the shit that the US has. Now, when I was over there, I was looking at some of the machines that from Husqvarna. There was tons there, but the automatic, like the auto mowers, it's a massive business. Just going to the show and seeing the multiples of brands that have now like everyone had one. From fucking Honda, Skag had one, Wright has one. Gravely, they have battery. I didn't see an auto mower there. But yeah, Scythe. There's one called Scythe. That's like the little...
Scythe!
It's like a white... Yeah, Scythe there.
That's a Pokemon, right?
Yeah. It's a white one, and it's got like a light band around it. There was like one called Nomad. That was like... looked like a big...
that's gangster.
Yeah, it was fucking huge, man.
Is there one called the Hell's Angel?
No, that's not the Nomad. That's fucking... Is it? Oh yeah, it is
that's
too.
That's a bike cruise.
Yeah, it is. Fucks me.
Yeah, don't fuck with me, eh?
Yeah, shit, he's gonna shank me. But yeah.
I saw fucking shank if I have to.
Husqvarna actually have a fucking an auto mower that does up to 18 acres a day. It's a fucking unit. It looks like a little UFO. It's pretty cool.
Now, this is the last comment, so we can spend a couple of minutes before we put a bow on it. But, I did respond and I said, look, I don't know whether, everyone would love my take on it. I want everyone to know and understand that I'm not against this concept. I honestly, I'm having some issues with my own personal thoughts, because when I came out with Catch Pro, I just had one person after the other saying, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And this is dumb as fuck. And, I just didn't see it that way. And now I feel like I'm the dude who is like, I don't get it. And it is how I feel. I want people to know that I'm not a hater. I don't love this for the industry.
Yeah.
And it's not about, taking jobs away from people or, I'm going to make no bones about this, that I think the more people that are running auto mowers is less money for Catch Pro.
Yeah.
I just have no issues saying that. It doesn't mean that I don't think that there is a time and a place for this concept. In Greenscape Solutions, when I look back, I couldn't think of one client that I had where an auto mower would work in any way, shape or form.
Yeah. Even now, I don't think it would work at any of... There's sections at my villages where it might work, but yeah, realistically, it wouldn't work at any of my villages. And I don't even think it would work at my acreages.
Oopsies.
Oh, dearie me.
So, with all of that being said, and I'd love to get Clint on here one day, obviously Gary, who we talk about it all the time. You know, he's starting to make some money off the concept.
Yeah. And
there's definitely a time and a place for it. Like, my own backyard, for example, I've got like 1,200 square meters of it's just a big rectangle. And I think if I installed a robot mower, I think my grass would be fantastic. And I think it would work pretty good. I think what my issue with it is that if you do the business model, I mean, look, I might be wrong about this. Maybe we need to have an episode with Gary to figure out some of the rules. But my understanding is, if you become an installer, say through Husqvarna, or I don't know who else is offering it, but if you become an installer where you offer like a package to a client, then you get a certain region, like a dealer's region.
Yeah.
And so that immediately means that there's only so many spots available.
Yeah.
For now, there could be other brands that come up, and then you got competing stuff. There's also some other things I hate, and BJ, let me know what you think, but I hate the idea of a lawn being constantly mowed with the whippersnipping only being done, say
100%.
Fortnightly.
Yeah.
I hate the idea of it.
Yeah, I hate it too. Because I've got garden, like raised garden beds, and they're all brick edge, so it's not like flat brick either, it's that textured. So once it grows up, it just looks like shit if everything else is mowed. So I tried to do it dodgy the other week, but I had family coming around and I just quickly ran the pushy over my front courtyard. And I was like, oh, I don't need to do the edges. I fucking definitely need to do the edges. So I went down, because the boys take the rig home and all my other battery stuff is on site. I had to tip some fuel out of the fucking pushy, tip it in me 4-stroke bushy, and I got through the edges with that. So I couldn't stand it. I think it looks like shit when you've got these nice big long streaky edges. And
so don't get me wrong, I don't know if I would go as far to say it's like I think it looks like shit. Like so if anyone is not already, take a look at Camden Garden Solutions and have a look at Gary Ashton, some of their stuff.
Well, Gary's suggestion was I think your one that you were talking to him, put bricks all the way around the perimeter of your house, but like, fuck, it's a lot of work.
Well, the thing is,
1,200 square meters of bricks around your place, that'd be a fucking couple of days work.
I'd probably get put in jail for fucking building a levee.
Yeah, you would.
In my fucking house, in my bloody street.
Just quick curb it.
There's a couple of other things that, so anyway, I suggested to follow them because I did make some comments on a recent Aussie Lawn Stars episode where I was a guest, where I was like, I don't know if they're being marketed the right way, and the grass just doesn't really look that mowed, and I have seen some content since then where the lawns look beautiful and they look immaculate, and so I understand all that. There's a few other things that I just don't think that there's any other way around it. Like, if you've got a property with leaves, I just don't understand how this is going to be a good solution.
Yeah.
Like, you're still going to someone is going to have to fucking clean up those leaves.
Yeah.
I think if you've got clientele or properties that are retained, dual levels, I don't understand how this works.
Yeah.
So I just think...
Imagine them just fucking driving off the edge. I've had enough.
Well, yeah, I mean, but the biggest thing... So did you have anything to add?
No,
so
I'm pretty much with you on... I definitely see an advantage if there was such things as that I saw overseas in regards to like these big acreage mowers. if you had, say, 18 acres, which is what their maximum capacity is, if you sent that fucking thing out and you had 18 acres of pristine lawn, you could not do it on a bush block like we have. Like,
you can do it on some of it.
Well, because you could do it on some, but what's the point in fucking doing some of it? You know, you don't want to fucking be like, oh, my mum fucking missed 2 acres because of a fucking branch down from a yum tree.
Yeah, look, I think I'm really not talking about the automated stand. The riders or stand.
Oh no, this is actually a fucking thing that goes back to its little house.
Oh, okay,
Fucking gets juiced up and then goes back out.
Yeah, so I'm talking about that.
It looks like a big fucking stingray.
I'm talking about that, but in the residential scale.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that is a big reach is that I think it's a really tough sell to say to someone, I'm going to charge you X amount of dollars to do nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I understand, like, the operator, they install this thing, right? And that costs like $2 or $3 grand or something, whatever it costs to install it. Then the customer has to pay a fee and a maintenance fee and all this other shit, so they pay for that. Then they either have to do the snipping and the gardening, or the contractor comes and does it. Now, if the contractor is not contracted to do the snipping or the gardening, then what you're really making is off the amount that you're charging them to run the robotic mower. And so, I just think...
I wonder what it does with dog shit.
Well, as far as...
Does it just fucking smear it?
I think it drives it stops or drives
it goes around it.
Look, there is just so many variables. I'm not saying that this concept is not going to take off. Like, I don't want to be that dude. I just don't know how much I love it personally. Yeah. And I'm not trying to turn anyone off, but I think in a small business environment, if you don't have the funds and the savvy to do it, I honestly think it's going to be more profitable to just pick up some fucking tools and do the work yourself.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound pig-headed or one-sided, because there's amazing machinery. I mean, you saw the machinery.
Yeah. And there's tons of people that make it work. I know, I forget what their fucking name is, but I know that there's someone that runs a fully automated business and they've made it work, but it's not something you see a huge amount of. I did see a little doco on some guy in, I think it was, the doco was Dutch or something, and he did the auto mower thing, but they're a completely different setup. Like, they have these little courtyards and the little fucking dude just goes around, does his thing, and they could brick the edges, but for your place, like, you'd have to do the edges all the time. And don't they say, like,
I think there's so many,
the variables are huge in that fucking market.
So let's just talk about a few of the speed bumps immediately. All right, let's take a market like WA, where everyone is using a cylinder mower.
Yeah.
That's something that everyone needs to weigh up. Let's talk about a market like Mount Druitt. Who the fuck is going to pay for a robot mower in a market like that?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, there's just so many... There really is so many variables.
Yeah.
And look, I one day, if I can be fucked, maybe we'll do an episode where someone can enlighten me.
Yeah.
But I think, in maybe 5 years, could be completely different.
Yeah.
I just don't know how good this is for the contractor market.
Oh.
I think...
Well, everyone's going to have to, if it becomes a thing, everyone's going to have to fucking shuffle their business. And whoever has the most money will have the most units. And
can I also say as well, I strongly believe that the more people that get into this concept, I just think it blows the door open for cowboys.
Mm-hmm. For like what, shit products or...
No, I think it blows the door open. I think the contractors doing the robot thing, there's only going to be certain markets available.
Yeah.
And when they used to push a mower, maybe they're not anymore. And you're just going to see these cowboys that, you know, just doing it for beer money or pocket money. I think you're going to see them flourish because there's going to be a demand for that type of work.
Yeah. I think there will be select people out there that have like that, I don't know, that mindset, like, yeah, I can do this, and they'll make a success out of it because they will, you know what though, the fucking picking up all the clients would be pretty hard. The marketing would be huge. Like you'd have to market your target area because that's what it is basically now, isn't it?
I think if you become, like, there's people that are buying them direct from China, and obviously there's no fucking rules. Like they can walk into a Husky territory and just throw their fucking Chinese machine at the Husqvarna one and just be like, fuck you. So I think there's a lot of there's a lot of variables there as well. But I just know that the particular Husqvarna business model is you sort of become a dealer. So you can sell that machine, you can install that machine, you can rent it out, and you get a region.
Maybe Scotty Osborne can shed some light because I know he does a bit, and I think he needs to like he was saying that he was outsourcing the install. That's
what they have to do because the mower guys, the dealers, they can't just leave their shop.
Yeah, that's it. Like it seems like it's not a fucking small process, and you need special equipment and shit like that to like.
They need special training too. Like I know for me, you know, when I was a contractor, I went through 20 years with no training.
Yeah.
And training makes you better. Don't get me wrong. Like it makes you better. But like I didn't have 2 days to just go and
I feel you.
Maybe towards the end of it I did, but when we were like really balling, it was like I remember I tried to get qualified for something and met with a dude and it fucking cost me a heap of time and had some paper and had to jump on the computer and I had like 10 lung busters in like 30 minutes and just fucking ripped up the piece of paper and said to hell with this. I need to go out and make some real money.
Yeah, that's it.
So interesting topic. Like I said, I'm not a hater. I'm just still trying to process myself how much sense this actually makes to the community and whether or not I think it's a little bit too early to say whether it's going to be good or bad for contractors.
Or if it'll just slip in and there'll be a few really switched on contractors that, you know, make it work for them. God, you'd have to have a bit of capital, eh?
I don't know.
You'd fucking have to. You can't get that many machines on credit. Because, you know, how many customers would you have to make money with these machines? And how many machines would you have to have? It's not like you can pick up the machine, take it to your next customer, fucking put it down and say, I'll be back in a week to pick this up. Like, you'd literally have to have one machine for every customer.
Well, you do. The other thing that
and they're not fucking cheap either, like...
The other thing that I have a little bit of an issue with as well is that, like, there's this awesome perceived sort of notion that, like, wouldn't it be fucking mad if you could mow, like, 50 lawns a week but not actually attend the lawns? And I'm sort of thinking, like, I just don't know how I would be as a person. Like, I need to be busy. I need to have worked. Not everyone's like that. Other people have lives. They go fishing. They do this. They do that. I just think that if there was these simple answers like this all the time, everyone would already be doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just
it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Be interesting to see what happens. I think there's room for it. Is it going to be something that every contractor is doing? I don't think so. I think you're looking at 15% of the current contractor market.
Yeah. I don't even think it's that. I reckon.
Yeah, I think I was being super generous.
That's super generous. I reckon maybe 4 or 5, if that.
It's hard to say. I mean, there's you know, housing developments that aren't retained in flat areas. You know, I think there'd be certain cool markets.
Yeah.
You know, you could hit a fucking whole estate and maybe you're done once you hit up a whole estate. But yeah, I don't know, buddy. I just don't know what happens when one catches on fire. I don't know what happens when one fails and cuts off a child's finger. I don't know what... There's just so...
when one doesn't stop for a dog shit and just smears it all over fucking everything.
Yeah, just bukakis everyone at the little tea party. Or like iRobot, when one of them just puts its hands down and goes, I have feelings.
Yeah.
What does he say? He doesn't say that.
Nah, I don't know what he says now.
But yeah, you know, hey, who knows? Anyway, I've had enough of this, dude. I'm cruising.
I'll fucking get out of here.
So
I'll do the rest by myself.
Until next week, I'm at Catch Pro. He's at TBL. We're out of time.
Peace.